Alrighty, guys. I am kinda winging it here, I'm gonna be honest, but I just wanted to kind of recap my year, and the main subject of the video is just gonna be talking about like streaming and like content creation in general, and just basically like if it's luck, like a lot of people believe, or if it's skill, like a lot of the top creators actually say. So basically, we're just gonna go over my personal experience throughout the last year, because I do have first-hand experience. I was dedicated this year. I streamed every single day of the year. I tried to put out as much short-form and long-form content as possible. And yeah, we're just gonna look through some of my statistics, and it should point you guys sort of to a conclusion. You know, you could form your own opinion about it, but there's definitely, I feel like, a mostly right and a mostly wrong answer here. So let's come on over here. I'm actually going to change my face cam just for the time being, and here are some of my statistics from the year. So we're going to start off in the top left here. So this is going to be my Twitch statistics. Obviously I cut the revenue off because that can be a completely different video in itself. You know, if you're wondering how much small streamers make off of Twitch. So as you can see, throughout the year I had a total of 1,562 different views, or viewers, I guess you could say. We'll get into more of that later, but if you look over here on the left, you can see, or no, let's start at the top actually. So this is the time frame. It started December 31st, 2024, right here, and went through to December 31st, 2025. So 366 days. There's a whole bunch of missing data in this chart. And I'm not too sure why. I don't know if it's just because there wasn't enough data to make it into the chart, but I can very much so prove that I had streamed every single day of the year, because I have a bot in my Discord server, and it sends out a message every time I go live. It's in the Going Live channel right here, and you can scroll and scroll and scroll, and you'll see every single day of 2025 I started up a stream and we streamed. So like I can go all the way back, right all the way to January of 2025. Look at that. And you'll see day 1 out of 365 streaming every day. Day 2, day 3, day 4, all the way up. I think I even went to day 366 because I wasn't too sure of what to do. Let's look here. We're on day 204 there. What do we got here? That's day 301. 338. 357. 365, 366. So there you go. 366 days in a row I went live. Here's the statistics. I don't know why the chart's missing. Who cares about the chart? Basically, for the entire day, the entire year, I averaged 1.4 viewers, which basically just means I had like 1 viewer a day. You can see this line down here. That's every single time I stream to just 1 viewer, which would be Nightbot. So basically no people, with the exception of some of these days where, for example, my highest day I peaked at 6.7 viewers. Don't your brain's actually smooth if you find that funny. So yeah, first-hand experience, as you can see. Throughout the year I gained 169 followers. So if we pull up a calculator here and do some math, we do 365 days divided by 169 followers. I apologize for that, guys. That is wrong. Or is that right? No, that's wrong. Sorry, guys. I don't know how to use calculators because I'm slow. So you do 169 followers in 365 days. So that's average of 0.4 followers a day, which actually isn't even all that bad, because that means every 2 to 3 days I would gain at least 1 new follower. So in my books, you know, that's pretty decent. Now I also gained 116 subscriptions, although I won't necessarily say they're all real, because I want to say probably 70 of them were gifted subs from just one person. So only about like 40 or 50 actual subscriptions throughout the entire year. So if we do the math, we'll say 45. So do 45 subscriptions in 365 days. That is like about every 9 or 10 days I got one new subscription, which is actually really decent. You know, that's pretty awesome. I'm very grateful. Obviously the revenue's cut out, and my total time streamed for this year was 1,323 hours and 4 minutes. Not too bad. Definitely a lot better if I were like a full-time streamer. But if we do some quick math on that, obviously we have 1,324 hours in 365 days. Hold on. That's going to give us 3.6 hours a day every single day for an entire year straight. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, I go to work 8 hours a day, but that's only Monday to Friday, right? And they get holidays. So here's the difference, right? I probably streamed more hours this year than the average person would work, just simply because they get like 2 weeks off in the summer, they get Christmas holidays, they get like Halloween, Easter, they get all that stuff off. So every time they get a day off, that's 8 hours less that they had to work, okay? I didn't get a single day off, and I was streaming 3.6 hours a day. So even if you were a kid who's working and you get your 2-month summer break, and you don't, like, say for example, you don't work on the summer break, I don't know why you would, I was still streaming every single day for those 60 days, 3.6 hours a day. So that comes out to like, what, 130 hours? So definitely a lot of streaming there. Now, here's the interesting part, is looking at the graph, you can see there hasn't really been any growth in, maybe a little bit, because you can tell it's a little more flat here, and then all of a sudden we have our highest peak here, and then we start getting more consistent higher peaks. But like in general, not a whole lot of growth. This is because Twitch doesn't really have any discoverability, so you're kind of relying on other platforms to grow your Twitch account. One thing I find interesting though is I've seen now 4 famous streamers, not gonna name who they are, I'll name one of them. One of them is Jinxie, and basically what they said is consistency is key, and in my opinion that's wrong, because I can quote Jinxie on this. He said that he streamed every day for an entire year to one viewer, and the one viewer was his dad, before he blew up. Well, as you can see, I streamed every single day for an entire year to one viewer. Didn't blow up, and I didn't really grow. So that's not like a secret to success or anything. He just kind of got lucky. Moving on, we're going to come here. So as you can see, I'm not really able to zoom in on it, but we're looking at this chart here. So views from outside Twitch. This just basically means like where people see your Twitch channel, like where they come from. So you can see 72% of people came from not on Twitch, which is like insane, but not really. If you understand how Twitch works, that would make sense to you. MSN.com, don't even know what that is. YouTube makes sense. I have my Twitch down in the description all the time. Google, and then like some other things, Twitter occasionally when I promote my Twitch on there. That, I don't know. We don't really need to talk about that. There's obviously another chart here. So 62% of my views or my viewers were my followers. 14% of the viewers came from other channel pages, and then 10% came from the Twitch like browser page or browse page, where you can you know, find categories like IRL, just chatting, Siege, like whatever. As you can see, actually, so for the IRL category, I had 18,180 impressions, which means 18,000 people went into the category and saw my stream, but only 200 of them decided to click on it. So I couldn't tell you if that's good or bad for Twitch, but to me that sounds pretty bad, you know? Like, that's barely anybody. That means like, what, 1 in every 900, is it 1 in every 900 or 1 in every 90 people click on your stream that see it, which is kind of bad, but whatever. Coming down to this chart right down here, we have my viewers. So engaged viewers, 192 views, just means people that are engaging with the stream, like doing whatever. Views by platform, so we could see 42% of people actually watched on the Twitch web page, 27% on iPhone app, 21% on Android, and then mobile web page 9%, and then whatever else. Nobody watches Twitch on any of these three. You can see views by location, so my stream is actually reaching the target audience because I mainly try to target people from the United States, Canada, not really the UK, but like those big three, you know, they got a lot of people in them, and those are the kind of people that I feel like would enjoy my streams. So we're doing good there. We got a total of 13,437 views. Once again, we have another chart. It's pretty similar. I don't know why I can't zoom in on it. This one here. So I streamed 1,323 hours, and during that, people watched my streams for 108,000 minutes. So that's quite a bit. I believe that's like 1,800 hours. I could be wrong. Somewhere around there. So, which is good, but not really. I don't know. There's a total of 1,540 unique viewers. So a unique viewer is like an individual viewer that like watches your stream at one point or another. And 412 unique chatters. So 1 in 3 of the unique viewers actually chatted. So they would be somewhat engaged, but not fully. That's basically it for my Twitch, okay? We're gonna kind of summarize and recap at the end of the video, but I have some more statistics down here from the year. So this is the last 365 days on my YouTube channel. I've gotten 462,500 views. Now that seems like an insane amount, but these, like 99% of these are not from my videos, they're from my shorts, and shorts are a lot easier to get views on, just because they get pushed out a lot more, and you know, you're just scrolling and you just see a short and you scroll right past it. So you would think that's a lot of views and you'd like, oh, you could make a bunch of money off of that or something. I've made no money. I still don't even meet the thresholds to be monetized. So there's that. 3.4 thousand watch hours is actually a lie. Just because when I go to the monetization tab, it says I only have about 800 out of 4,000 watch hours. That's why I can't get monetized. So this chart is like a lie. I don't know how it works with YouTube, but I'm just showing you guys the statistics. And I gained 167 subscribers in the last year. So, you know, not a whole lot of growth. You can see my views started very, very low in the beginning of the year and started sort of like going up towards the end of the year. So some growth on the YouTube channel. It's definitely easier to grow on than Twitch. So that was going good. And then finally, I have a chart from my TikTok. So I think I started this year with my TikTok at about 10 followers or something. And over the year, I managed to get a total of 45,000 views on all of my videos. 1.1 thousand of those people came to my profile, 1.2 thousand likes among all of my videos, 137 comments, and only 55 shares. You can see where the people actually came from to my TikTok, so 71% actually searched for them, 18% from the For You page, 8% from personal profile, and 1% from following. So a lot of big streamers will actually tell you TikTok is like the meta, and like you just need to like clip and post your clips to TikTok. I feel like it could work. But the only problem is it's actually really, really hard to blow up on TikTok. Like, I consistently posted a ton of different style of videos. I tried like almost everything, and most of my TikToks get stuck at like 200 views and like don't go above that. So if you're thinking you could just blow up on TikTok and then just have them come over to your Twitch, that is like winning the lottery. That is really hard. I feel like there's no secret sauce to doing that almost, because I've tried almost everything. So, like I said, I would summarize at the end of the video. Basically, based on my own experience, I can actually tell you guys, being a content creator is probably 70 to 80% luck and 20 to 30% skill. But here's the thing, right? Without the skill, the luck doesn't matter, and without the luck, the skill doesn't matter. Let me elaborate. So, if you were lucky enough to blow up, but you're not making good content, it's all just gonna disappear. But if you're making really, really good content and you don't have the luck to blow up, you know, that really sucks. But I feel like just making good content alone with no luck, you're never gonna blow up. I feel like it's never gonna work out. It might eventually, but it's highly unlikely. Like, you're gonna want to try to get lucky in some way. I don't know how. So, do I think you should try to become a streamer or something? Honestly, yes. I'm just gonna take a sip of water quickly. It's a lot of talking. Now, basically, why I still think this, even though it's so challenging to actually make it, is because you might as well try. And I'm not saying go out and buy a whole streaming setup and custom emotes and Streamlabs overlays and all this crap and invest all of this money thinking that you're going to make your money back and then it's not going to work out. I'm saying if you already have the ability to be streaming or uploading, you might as well. Because it's as easy as just going live while you play, and then after just posting a couple of clips and videos of what you did. So it's super simple, and with that chance, there's always a chance that you get lucky enough to blow up. You know, it's better if you had the chance than no chance. You know what I mean? So like, if you can be streaming, you might as well be streaming, because then it takes your gaming or whatever you do from being unproductive to automatically being productive, because at least you're putting effort towards something that could like pay you back for your time. You know what I mean? But even with that said, you know, just consistency and all of the tips that the big streamers give out, honestly, is kind of a load of crap. Yeah. If you think you can just stream every single day, 8 hours a day, and then you're just gonna automatically become a streamer, it's not gonna work out for you. I can't tell you what the real answer is, because obviously I'm not a big streamer, but if I was, I would definitely tell you guys at least the strategies I used to get there. But anyways, I think that's it for today's video. I just wanted to recap the last year. Shout out to everybody who did follow me along the way. You know, subscribe on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, follow my TikTok, like whatever, watch the videos. You know, I appreciate all you guys. Anyways, I think that's it for today's video. If you have any questions about any of this, just leave it in the comments or even in my Discord server, and I will definitely get back to you like as soon as I see it and help you out with anything you need. But you know, if you guys did enjoy or found this interesting, leave a like. If you want to help me out on this journey, make sure to subscribe. And I think that's all I've got to say, other than the fact that I'm not actually trying to be a big streamer as my job. This is a big misconception, is people see you streaming and they're gonna make fun of you and be like, oh my god, oh look who's trying to become a streamer. It's like, no, actually, I don't want to go into depth of what I'm doing, but I'm studying in school to do something else as a job. I'm just streaming just because I can. And you know, if it works out, that's absolutely amazing. But if it doesn't, I always have that plan A. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm not trying to be this big streamer, but if it happens, it happens. That'd be great. And, I think that's pretty much it. I'll give myself a second to think. Otherwise, the video is just going to end, and see you guys. You know what? One thing I wanted to say is I want to give myself props. Just because of the fact that I was able to stream over 3.5 hours every single day for 365 days straight. Cause, think about it. I already have to go to school for 7 hours a day. For a lot of the year, then I had to go to driving school for like another 2 hours a day. And for until like December 20th, I also had to go to college for like 3 or 4 hours a day every day, or not every day, but like really often. So my plate was full, and I still squeezed out a 3.5 hour stream every day. So, you know, that's pretty impressive. Pat myself on the back for that one. Not a whole lot of people can do that. That was pretty committed of me. I even had, I think my longest stream this year was 30 something hours, and I definitely had a lot of streams over 12 hours. So, you know, it's fun to do, and it's fun to look at these statistics. And yeah. Cheers to another great year.